Have you ever felt frustrated trying to peel a boiled egg, only to end up with pieces of shell stuck to the white and an egg that looks torn apart? It is a common problem, and the surprising truth is this: boiling eggs the traditional way might be the very reason it keeps happening. What if there were a better method? One that gives you smooth, easy to peel eggs every single time. A method so simple and reliable that it is used in five-star hotel kitchens around the world. And no, this is not about fancy equipment or complicated steps. It is about cooking smarter, not harder. In this video, you will learn a gentle, proven way to cook eggs that protects their texture, improves their flavor, and makes peeling effortless. It is perfect for anyone who wants more ease in the kitchen, especially if your hands do not move quite the way they used to. Whether you are cooking for yourself, for a loved one, or just want to enjoy breakfast without the hassle, this method could make a real difference. Let us begin with the reason why the old boiling method is letting you down, and what to do instead. 1. Why boiling fails us, and how steaming saves us. For generations, we were taught to boil eggs by dropping them straight into hot water. It seems simple. Just bring a pot to a boil, add the eggs, wait a while, and you are done. But here is what no one told us. Boiling eggs this way can cause more problems than it solves. When eggs go from cold to boiling water, the sudden temperature change creates stress on the shell. That stress often causes the shell to crack, leaking egg whites into the water. Even if the shell stays intact, the inside can cook unevenly. The yolk may turn dry or crumbly. The white may overcook and become rubbery. And worst of all, peeling those eggs becomes a real challenge. Now, imagine a better way. A way that treats the egg more gently, avoids cracking, and makes peeling smooth and easy. That method is steaming. Steaming uses moist heat at a steady temperature without direct contact with boiling water. This gentle process allows the eggs to cook evenly from the outside in. The shell stays intact. The whites set perfectly. The yolk remains tender, never dry. And when it is time to peel, the shell slips off with little effort. This is not a new idea. Professional chefs in hotel kitchens have used the steaming method for years because it gives consistent, beautiful results. But it works just as well in your own kitchen with tools you already have. No need for fancy gadgets, so the next time you cook eggs, skip the boiling. Try steaming instead. It is easier on your hands, your time, and your nerves. Most of all, it respects the food and the person cooking it. 2. The forgotten step: cleaning eggs safely. Before you even think about cooking eggs, there is one simple step that many people skip, but it can make a big difference in your health and in your meal. That step is cleaning the eggs. Eggs often look clean on the outside, but the truth is they can carry traces of dirt, feathers, and even bacteria like Salmonella or E. coli. These bacteria are usually found on the surface of the shell, and if not removed, they can easily transfer into your cooking water or even into the egg itself. Cleaning eggs is especially important if you are buying from local farms or using backyard eggs, but even store-bought eggs can benefit from a quick clean. Here is a safe and natural way to do it. Start by filling a bowl with warm water, not hot. Add 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 1 tablespoon of salt. The baking soda helps loosen dirt and oils from the surface of the egg. The salt acts as a natural disinfectant, killing off unwanted bacteria. Place your eggs in this mixture and let them soak for about 5 minutes. Then, using a clean kitchen towel, gently wipe each egg to remove any remaining debris. Be gentle. You do not want to crack the shell. And do not use dish soap or harsh cleaners. Those can leave behind chemicals that are not safe to eat. By taking a few extra minutes to clean your eggs, you make your food safer and more pleasant. You lower the risk of foodborne illness. You also keep your cooking water clean, and that means better tasting eggs overall. Think of it this way. Just like we wash our hands before cooking, our ingredients deserve the same respect. A clean egg is a safe egg and a better start to your meal. 3. Handling cold eggs with care. If you store your eggs in the refrigerator, as most people do, there is one more step you need to know before cooking. It may seem small, but it can prevent cracks and frustration later. That step is letting your eggs come to room temperature. When you take a cold egg and drop it straight into hot water or a hot steamer, the shell can crack from the sudden change in temperature. The inside expands quickly, and the pressure causes small fractures, or worse, full-on breaks. That can lead to leaking egg whites, strange textures, and messy cleanup. The solution is simple and takes just a few extra minutes. Before steaming or cooking your eggs, place them in a bowl of room temperature water. Let them sit for about 10 minutes. This allows the cold egg to gently warm up without any shock to the shell. It is a little like stretching before exercise. You are preparing the egg to go from cold to hot in a gentle way. This step also helps with peeling later because the egg white will separate more easily from the shell. This is especially helpful if you have limited strength or struggle with hand dexterity. Fewer cracked shells means less mess, less frustration, and fewer eggs lost to bad peeling. Some people ask, can I just leave them out on the counter? No, you can, but soaking in water is faster and more consistent. It only takes 10 minutes, and while the eggs are soaking, you can be preparing your steamer or cleaning the next batch. It is a small habit, but one that pays off every single time. Cooking is not just about the end result. It is about creating a process that works with your pace and your lifestyle. And for many older adults, small changes like this can make kitchen time smoother, safer, and more enjoyable. 4. How to set up the steamer. No fancy tools needed. Now that your eggs are clean and at room temperature, it's time to set up your steamer. This might sound complicated, but I promise, it's simple, and you probably already have everything you need in your kitchen. Let's start with the basics. You need a pot with a lid about medium size. Then you'll need something to elevate the eggs above the water. This can be a metal steamer basket, a collapsible steam insert, or even a simple wire rack that fits inside your pot. Some people even use a small metal colander. As long as the eggs can sit above the water and not touch it directly, you're good to go. Begin by filling the pot with about 1 liter of water. That's around 4 cups. You don't want too much water, just enough to create steam, not so much that it touches the eggs. Add a small pinch of salt to the water. This helps enhance the flavor of the steam and can improve the final taste of the eggs. Now place your steamer basket or rack into the pot. Make sure it's stable and level. If the basket wobbles or tips, the eggs could roll around and crack during cooking. Next, gently place the eggs into the steamer in a single layer. Do not stack them or overcrowd the basket. Each egg should have a little space around it so the steam can circulate evenly. Once the eggs are arranged, cover the pot with the lid and turn the heat on high. You'll want to wait until you see visible steam coming out from under the lid. That's your cue that the water is boiling and the steaming process is ready to begin. When the steam starts to flow, lower the heat to medium. You don't need a full rolling boil, just enough heat to maintain consistent steam. This gentle heat ensures that the eggs cook evenly without bumping around or cracking. One of the beautiful things about steaming is how forgiving it is. With boiling, even a few extra seconds can lead to overcooked, rubbery eggs. But with steam, the heat is more stable and less harsh. It surrounds the egg instead of shocking it from the outside in. And for anyone who finds kitchen tasks stressful or tiring, this setup is a true gift. It's low maintenance, quiet, and safe. There's no need to constantly stir or watch for water boiling over. Once the eggs are in, all you have to do is set a timer and let the steam do its work. Setting up your steamer the right way makes all the difference. It's not about having expensive equipment or being a professional chef. It's about creating a calm, reliable process that works every single time. 5. Vinegar and salt. The simple trick for easy peeling. One of the most frustrating parts of cooking eggs is peeling them. Sometimes, no matter how careful you are, the shell clings to the egg white like glue. You end up picking at tiny pieces or tearing the surface of the egg. It's annoying, time-consuming, and wasteful. But there's a trick, an old-fashioned, reliable, and almost magical solution. Just add a little vinegar and salt to the steaming process. Here's how it works. Before you place the eggs into your steamer, simply add about 1 tablespoon of white vinegar and 1 teaspoon of salt into the water you'll use for steaming. That's it. You don't need much. The vinegar reacts with the calcium carbonate in the eggshell and helps soften it slightly. This softening makes it easier to crack and peel the shell after cooking. The salt also plays an important role. It not only helps with flavor, but works alongside the vinegar to weaken the bond between the eggshell and the egg white. This combination allows the shell to pull away more cleanly when you peel, leaving behind a smooth, beautiful egg. Now, you might be wondering, will the eggs taste like vinegar? The answer is no. Because the eggs are not soaking in the vinegar, but only being exposed to its vapor during steaming, the flavor stays pure and clean. What you get is not a pickled taste, but a much easier peeling experience. This is especially helpful for those of us who may not have as much strength or dexterity in our hands as we used to. Peeling can be tiring, even painful at times if the shell resists. But with vinegar and salt in the mix, the process becomes almost effortless. After the eggs are cooked and cooled, you'll notice right away that the shell comes off in larger pieces. You won't have to fight with it. You won't lose half the egg white in the process. Just a gentle crack, a roll on the counter, and the peel slips right off. If you have ever felt discouraged trying to make a nice egg salad, deviled eggs, or even just a simple breakfast, this trick can bring that confidence back. Cooking should feel good, and sometimes the smallest tips make the biggest difference. So go ahead, try adding vinegar and salt the next time you steam eggs. It's an easy habit to build and one you'll never want to skip again. 6. Getting the timing just right. Soft, medium, and hard eggs. Now that your steamer is set up and your eggs are gently cooking with the help of vinegar and salt, let's talk about the most important part of the process, timing. The amount of time your eggs spend in the steamer determines everything: the texture of the white, the consistency of the yolk, and the overall quality of your meal. The good news is, steaming gives you more control than boiling. Because the heat is consistent and surrounds the egg, you're less likely to overcook or undercook. But timing still matters, especially if you have a preference for how your eggs turn out. Let's break it down. If you like a soft-boiled egg with a slightly firm white and a runny yolk, the magic number is 6 minutes. Set your timer the moment steam is visible and your eggs are placed in the basket. After 6 minutes, remove them and place them into cold water to stop the cooking process. If you prefer a medium egg with a creamy but not runny yolk, something closer to a custard texture, go for 9 minutes. This is a favorite for those who want richness without liquid. Again, move the eggs into cold water right after cooking to lock in that texture. Now for the classic hard-boiled egg, where the yolk is fully cooked and firm, but still moist and not dry, steam for 11 to 12 minutes. That range gives you a fully cooked egg without overdoing it. Be cautious not to go past 12 minutes, or you may end up with a chalky texture and a green ring around the yolk, caused by sulfur and iron compounds reacting from overcooking. Each of these time frames works best if you start timing after the water is fully steaming. If the eggs go in before the steam is ready, they may need an extra minute or two. But once you get the hang of it, you'll know exactly what works for your stove and your taste. This is where cooking becomes personal. Do you like your yolks soft and buttery, or firm and ready for slicing? Steaming gives you the power to choose and to be consistent every single time. And if you're cooking for others, maybe grandchildren, a spouse, or friends, it's a small way to show care. When someone receives an egg just the way they like it, that attention to detail means something. Getting the timing right is not just about precision. It's about confidence, comfort, and bringing joy back into the kitchen. 7. Cooling the eggs. The most overlooked step that changes everything. The moment the eggs finish steaming is not the end. It is the beginning of the most important step in the whole process, cooling them down immediately. It might sound simple, but this one step is what makes the difference between a perfectly smooth peel and a frustrating, broken mess. Here is why it matters. As soon as the eggs finish cooking, they're still hot inside. If left to sit at room temperature, they keep cooking, and the yolk can go from perfect to dry in just a few minutes. The whites can toughen, and worst of all, the shell can stick even tighter to the egg, making peeling almost impossible. Now imagine the opposite. When you transfer those hot eggs straight into a bowl of cold water, or better yet, ice water, something magical happens. The sudden change in temperature causes the egg to contract slightly inside the shell. This creates a small gap between the white and the shell, making it much easier to peel later. It also stops the cooking process right away, locking in the exact texture you intended, whether soft, medium, or hard. No guessing, no overcooking, no rubbery whites or green rings around the yolk. Here's how to do it. As soon as your timer goes off, use a pair of tongs or a spoon to gently lift the eggs from the steamer and place them directly into a large bowl of cold water. You can add a handful of ice cubes if you have them. Let the eggs sit there for at least 10 minutes. There's no need to rush. In fact, the longer they sit, the better the peel. This step is easy to overlook, especially if you're in a hurry or not used to steaming eggs. But once you try it, you'll notice the difference right away. The shells practically slide off. The whites are tender and whole. The yolk stays just how you like it. And there's one more benefit, especially for those with limited hand strength. When eggs cool properly, you don't have to struggle. Your fingers won't ache from picking at stubborn shells. Your patience won't be tested. Instead, you'll feel calm and in control because the egg cooperates. This is a small act of care, both for the food and for yourself. So don't skip it. Cooling is not just a finishing touch. It's a vital part of the process that turns effort into ease and frustration into satisfaction. 8. Peeling eggs without the battle. A gentle, reliable method. You've steamed your eggs with care. You cooled them the right way. Now comes the final test, peeling. For many people, this is where things fall apart, literally. But with the right method, peeling eggs can be easy, clean, and even a little satisfying. Start with one egg at a time. Gently tap it on a hard surface, like a countertop or cutting board. Don't hit too hard, just enough to crack the shell all around. Then, roll the egg lightly under your palm. This helps loosen the shell even more by creating a network of small fractures across the surface. Now, find the wide end of the egg. There's usually a small air pocket there, and that's your best starting point. Use your fingers to peel back the shell, getting under the thin membrane just beneath the shell. That membrane is the real trick. If you can get under it, the shell will come off in big pieces, not tiny flakes. If the shell is being stubborn, try peeling the egg under running cold water. The water helps slide between the membrane and the white, lifting everything off more smoothly. It also washes away any tiny fragments that might get stuck. You'll notice something else. Eggs that are just a few days older tend to peel more easily than very fresh ones. That's because the pH level inside the egg changes slightly over time, loosening the bond between the white and the shell. So if your eggs are fresh from the store or from a backyard coop, give them a few days in the fridge before cooking. It'll save you time and stress later. Now, why does this all matter? Because peeling should not be a battle, especially for older adults who may deal with arthritis, joint stiffness, or reduced hand strength. Fighting with an egg can turn a simple task into a frustrating ordeal. But when you steam the egg properly, cool it quickly, and use this gentle peeling method, you'll find that the shell just wants to come off. And that small win, a clean, whole egg, is more than just about cooking. It's about confidence, about feeling in control, about bringing joy back into something as ordinary as breakfast. So the next time you peel an egg, do it slowly. Enjoy the smoothness of it. And remember, this is not just food. It's a reflection of patience, care, and quiet satisfaction. 9. Food pairing warnings. What not to eat with eggs. Eggs are one of the most nutritious foods you can eat. They're rich in protein, healthy fats, and essential vitamins like B12 and D. But here's something many people don't know. What you eat with your eggs can affect how well your body absorbs those nutrients. And in some cases, the wrong food combinations can even cause digestive discomfort. Let's start with something very common. Tea. Many people enjoy a hot cup of tea with their breakfast. It's soothing, comforting, and a habit that's been passed down through generations. But drinking tea, especially black tea, right after eating eggs may not be the best idea. That's because tea contains tannins, natural compounds that give tea its slightly bitter taste. Tannins have a strong binding ability. When they come in contact with the proteins in eggs, they can form a compound that's harder for your body to digest. This means you might feel bloated or uncomfortable afterward. And over time, it could interfere with how much protein your body actually absorbs from the egg. So what's the solution? It's simple. Wait about 30 minutes after eating your eggs before enjoying your tea. This gives your body time to start digesting the protein without interference. You don't have to give up tea altogether. Just give your meal a little head start. Now, let's talk about another surprising food pairing. Soybeans and eggs. On their own, both of these foods are excellent sources of protein. But when eaten together, especially in large amounts, they may not complement each other as well as you'd expect. Soybeans contain a compound called trypsin inhibitor. This substance can interfere with the enzymes in your digestive system that are responsible for breaking down protein. So when you eat soy and eggs at the same time, your body may not digest either protein as efficiently. This could reduce the overall nutritional benefit of both foods and may even cause some digestive discomfort. This is especially important for older adults. As we age, our digestive systems naturally slow down a bit. We don't always absorb nutrients as easily as we used to. That's why it's important to not only focus on what we eat, but how we eat it and in what combinations. Now, you don't have to become obsessive or fearful about food pairings. This isn't about creating strict rules. It's about being mindful. If you love eggs and tea, space them out. If you enjoy soy-based dishes, save the eggs for another meal. Small adjustments like these can have a big impact over time, especially when your goal is to support healthy digestion and make the most of your meals. Think of your plate like a conversation. You want the foods on it to speak the same language, to work together. When you choose pairings that support each other, your body thanks you. You feel lighter, more comfortable, and more energized. And most of all, you feel confident knowing that your choices are thoughtful and informed, not just based on habit, but on wisdom. Bringing it all together. And there you have it. A better way to cook eggs. Not just easier, but kinder. kinder to your time, kinder to your hands, and kinder to your body. We've covered a lot in this video, but each step fits together like a gentle rhythm, a slow, steady way to care for yourself in the kitchen. From choosing not to boil eggs directly in water, to steaming them with calm, steady heat, from properly cleaning your eggs, to letting them come to room temperature, from setting up your steamer the right way, to adding just a little vinegar and salt for that clean, easy peel. Then we talked about the importance of cooling. That moment right after cooking when a simple bowl of cold water changes everything. And of course, the final step, peeling gently with confidence, not frustration. No more chipped whites, no more bits of shell everywhere. Just smooth, satisfying eggs ready to enjoy. But this video wasn't just about cooking eggs. It was about something deeper. It was about slowing down, being present, and building confidence in the everyday things that matter. Whether you're cooking for yourself, for someone you love, or just for the peace it brings to start your day with something simple and nourishing. This method honors that intention. And for those who've had trouble in the past, cracked shells, rubbery yolks, eggs that stick and tear apart, it's not your fault. No one ever taught us this gentle approach. But now you know it. And now it's yours to keep. Before we go, I want to leave you with one last thought. In a world that often feels rushed, where everything demands your attention at once, cooking something as humble as an egg can become a moment of stillness, a small act of care, a reminder that your time, your energy, and your well-being are worth protecting. So if this video helped you, if you learned something new, or just felt seen in your small daily struggles, please take a moment to let us know in the comments. What part of this method are you most excited to try? Or maybe you've got a tip or story of your own to share. This is a community, and your voice matters here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time to care for yourself. And as always, remember, it's never too late to learn something new, to make life a little easier, and to treat each day as something worth savoring. Until next time, stay well, stay curious, and enjoy your perfectly steamed eggs.